Hello parents and students, this is our final video for drawing a pinwheel. This is going to be the coloring part. It's relatively short. Most of the work has done and this is just coloring in what we found, so it's going to be pretty quick. So I took my tracing of my design and I put it on a copy machine and I got this. So now I get to experiment with some colors. Like I said before, you can color this if you like, but then you have to make another tracing of it to color on here. It's a little bit easier just to make a copy of it. This I would do a final coloring of because color on tracing paper really looks fantastic. But just for this one, I'm going to use some copy paper. Now, if you remember when we did our tessellation, we used 3 colors. I'm going to do the same thing with this. Now I'm going to use more basic colors. I'm going to use like red, blue. Yellow is a basic color, but I'm not going to use yellow. I'm going to use green. Yellow is a really light color. I want this to be a little bit more what we call vibrant, so it kind of like stands out. So I'm going to be coloring this in. You can choose your 3 colors. And then later on I'm going to speed it up just so we can get finished with it. So I'm going to use blue for these bands in here and red for inside this little opening here. And then I'm going to decide what to use green for. I think I'm going to use green as a shading just in the center. So, blue. To make this look dramatic, I'm going to draw a line of where I'm going to fill in the blue heavily. In other words, I'm going to make this very dark. See, I'm making that dark up to that line. So I'm going to make this very dark on the inside. As I come down towards the center, I'm going to make it skinnier. Okay. And I'm going to make this line very dark. You don't want any white showing, so just the line's going to show. So this is going to be my darkest part. Now as I come to this rest of this part, I'm going to lighten up my pencil. You can do this with crayons also if you want. But I like pencils because the point's a little bit more exact, a little easier. I like the colors of pencils. Okay, like that. Now, when I start this one, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm kind of creating the same line here. This is going to be really dark up into this line. So I'm filling in my dark spot, my dark pressure, my dark sections of my art first with my pencil. So we get a light and dark. We get light on this side of the line and dark on this side of the line. This is going to make this look very dramatic. If you ever know what had a pinwheel, this kind of looks like a pinwheel. Pinwheels are usually maybe 3 colors. I think they're the same colors, like a red, green, or a blue. Now I'm going to make this lighter. I've got my darkness in. And as I come to this line, I'm going to lighten it up a little bit. So I'm trying to blend these lines a little bit, but my darkest I filled in first. And now I'm going to go a little bit lighter by the time I get to this line. And we could always color this in a little bit differently. Again, you can go over this several times, and you can experiment with colors as well. Okay, so I have 2 of them done. You can see how dramatic that looks since I've changed the darkness of my blue. Now I'm going to pick up my red. I'm going to do the same thing with the red. I'm going to make this side of the red dark. Okay. And as I get towards this line, I'm done with my dark. Try and make it sure that I color all the way to the edge of the lines. Now I'm going to make this side light. Not putting too much pressure on the pencil, just like that. I don't like that line in there. I'm going to make that line a little bit curved this time. I'm going to make this dark. And then kind of blend it in. And as I get to the outside, I'm going to make it lighter. That looks a little bit better. I like this one a little bit better. Okay. I like this one better than that one. All right, so that my design's coming up. Looking pretty good. I'm going to use my green. Remember, we're going to use 3 colors. I'm going to use my green down here. And I'm just going to kind of add that to my blue. Not going to cover my blue up all the way. I'm just going to kind of add it to my blue. Just in the bottom like this, like that. Okay. Now I'm going to have to do this all the way around. So I'm going to speed this up. But this is my basic coloring, my basic design for color. I'm going to speed this up and finish it up, and then put it in a frame, and it should be done. This is the finished design. Now all those little mistakes that I made originally just kind of disappear at the end. So as close to exact as you can make it is what we're trying for. But little mistakes, don't worry too much about them. Your pinwheel will come out looking beautiful. I'm not sure what colors you're going to decide to make your pinwheels out of, but remember, 3 colors is usually best. 4 gets a little complicated, but if you can make copies of it and experiment with color, go ahead and make copies on a copy machine and experiment with the colors that you like. And much success. I hope you enjoy this over the holidays.